Why do some small channels break through while others struggle for years? This is actually the second session of our 5-day YouTube challenge. But if you haven't seen any of the other sessions, that's okay, because I'm really going to be breaking down exactly what I would do if I was starting YouTube from zero. And specifically, the YouTube brand blueprint. I've got a 3-step framework to share with you. The 5 most common mistakes that creators do that cause them to stay stuck. And the truth is, YouTube actually has been changing a lot. It's always an evolving landscape, rising competition. You might feel like your niche, your topic is saturated. So how do we stand out? How can small channels grow fast in a crowded YouTube space? And I actually think that one of the best pictures of how to do that comes from the famous story of David and Goliath. You know, the story of David and Goliath is a great picture of the challenges we are facing on YouTube today. Maybe you've been watching House of David on Amazon Prime, but you know, David, a young shepherd, faced a giant Goliath, a seemingly invincible warrior who was terrorizing his people. And David had many disadvantages: his size, his strength, his experience. He was a total underdog. Can you actually think about that? On YouTube, you might be thinking like, the size of my channel, well, it's 0 or it's very small. The strength, I don't have a lot of resources. I don't feel like I have strong content creation powers. Experience, I don't got a lot of experience on YouTube. I'm an underdog, right? So it's kind of a picture, right, to a lot of what we would feel like when we're starting this. But despite his size and his strength disadvantage, David, armed with only a sling, 5 stones, and faith, ultimately defeated Goliath. Well, what's the insight? David didn't try to fight Goliath on his own terms. He used his unique advantage to position himself for victory. And so this session is all about finding your unique advantage. As a new YouTuber, you might feel small against established giants or other entrepreneurs or business owners in your space. How can you overcome the odds and find success? Our goal is not really trying to fight the competition based on their strength, but to find our slingshot, if you will, to find our unique advantage. And using the framework that you're going to learn today, I believe by the end of this training, you're going to have fierce clarity on the next steps for your personal YouTube channel. So let's find your slingshot together. Specifically, in this session, we're going to be talking about the proven framework for turning your YouTube channel into a profitable business, the 5 common mistakes that hurt YouTube growth, the secret weapon top YouTubers use to build magnetic brands that attract loyal viewers, and how to achieve part-time or full-time income sooner than you thought possible. And I really believe I'm about to save you 3 years of painful YouTube mistakes. This was actually the framework I needed back when I started, because I struggled and was frustrated for such a long time. And you see these 3 silver play buttons and this gold play button. That's not where I started, right? It's what I've achieved today. But I started with uncertainty, 0 skill, and a massive case of imposter syndrome. Like, when I show you back to where I started, this was 13 years ago. Now, let me show you how bad it was. I was actually the ultimate jack of all trades YouTuber. Can you relate? Like, you posting content about all kinds of different things. I was kind of like a kangaroo jumping from niche to niche. And one week I decided I was a fitness YouTuber. I posted this video called Quarter Life Crisis with all this like shakes and kettlebells and the 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. And then I was like a travel vlogger. I posted this Las Vegas zip line experience. And then next I was a cooking channel. I posted my recipe for garlic green beans. Like, what is this channel about? Like, this was my channel is called Sean Cannell. Started around 2010, but it got worse. It gets worse. Then I stumbled into tech reviews, which was like a bright spot. It's eventually kind of what I did on Think Media, but ironically, I didn't stick with it. You thought I would have, but I got distracted and I became a movie critic, you know, and I posted my review of The Amazing Spider-Man. And have you ever seen that review, by the way? Exactly. Yeah, nobody else did either, you know, nobody else. And then I was like a vlogger as well. So you can see here, Yeehaw, Las Vegas horseback riding, July 6, 2012. So then I was vlogging as well. And as confusing as all of this is, how do you think my subscribers felt? Like, my poor subscribers were probably thinking like, what is this channel even about? And I wasn't actually done making mistakes. I pivoted and I convinced myself that daily vlogging was the answer. And I thought that if I just posted enough, fame would magically appear, right? Spoiler alert, that's not how any of this works. And so you could see I started doing kind of like daily vlogs and updates. And this leads me to 5 common creator mistakes that I see all the time. And you might be making these, and it could be why you're struggling right now. The first one is creating without strategy. See, I didn't have a strategy, as you can say, I was just making random videos. Secondly, it could be chasing trends without expertise or experience. So riding trends, we call it trend surfing, is a smart idea, but sometimes it leads us out of our genius zone, or it leads us out of our experience. I was doing that. I was just kind of trying to find myself, find my voice, figure out my channel. Third, lacking a clear channel identity. This channel, if I was known for anything, it means I was known for nothing. Like, that's kind of like the cooking, horseback riding, vlogger, travel, quarter life crisis guy. Like, talk about identity crisis. I did not have a channel identity. Having no monetization plan. I was just hoping, man, one of these videos is going to pop. And if I get some views, then I'll get qualified for monetization and maybe I can make some money. It's not a plan, or it's a very poor plan, and it didn't work. And then spreading themselves too thin. YouTube takes energy. Creating content takes energy. And I'm just going in all these different directions. I'm wearing myself out. I'm burning myself out. I'm not getting results. And maybe you can relate. And everything changed when I discovered what I call the 3P framework. And I'm so excited to talk about this. And I want to encourage you, even if you already feel like you know what your channel is about. In fact, wherever you're watching this, whether on the Think Media podcast channel, I want to do a poll and see, like, what kind of content are you creating? What is your channel about? Even if you already think you have clarity, let me challenge you. Whether you're advanced watching this or whether you're just starting, let's go through this process together. This is actually going to be a workshop. If you have something to write with, something to brainstorm with, that's going to be helpful. Because again, by the end of this, I believe you're going to have fierce clarity, and clarity is power. And so let's dive into, I have 3 tips for you. Let's dive into tip number 1, which is use the 3P framework to identify your most powerful and profitable channel topic. And it could be that your channel needs a pivot, that you may need to change your channel topic if in fact you desire to go full time, if in fact you want to make money doing this, if in fact you aren't growing, maybe you've plateaued because you're basically in the wrong niche, or you need to rebrand, you need to change your channel topic. So let's look at this. What you're going to do is on your paper, on your piece of paper, or in your Notion document or your tablet, I want you to draw 3 circles overlapping called a Venn diagram. And in the first circle, you're going to write passion. When you're trying to figure out what your YouTube channel is about, the first thing to do would be to write passion and then brainstorm possibilities. And again, even if you've already picked your channel topic, do this with me anyways, because there might be some light bulb moments on the journey. So you're going to write down potential channel topics and themes, even for content buckets, if you will, and write as many as you can come up with. So there might be 5, 10, 15. But here's what passion means. What genuinely interests you? What is the thing you love to do so much you would do it for free? What's the thing you would talk about? You could talk about endlessly, and it just excites you to talk about it. Like, you don't have to like pump yourself up. It just naturally comes out of you. What do you enjoy? What lights you up? How about this one? What ticks you off? What makes you upset? One of the strongest indicators of passion, it says, like, if you're going to find your why, your why is connected to what makes you cry. For me, it is interesting if I go to a public speaking event, if I go to my background in church, my background in church communications, meaning audio, video, and lighting in a physical environment. I notice all kinds of details. Like I went to this one event, like the microphone was cutting in and out, the lighting was like wrong, and the video had like echoes and feedback. And there might be some people in the room, they didn't even notice that. But that stuff, like, my hair starts standing up, like, ugh. Sometimes people's music choice, like if the music doesn't fit the vibe, like, well, that's just the stuff I notice. You might notice different details and things might make you upset. Something might make you upset, like people that are actually being mistreated. Like you got a passion for justice of a particular topic. You've got a passion. So not just what lights you up, but also what ticks you off. What triggers your heart, your feelings, the center of your soul, the thing you care about. And this is important. What are you curious about? Because here's the truth when it comes to YouTube. I think you should have a mindset that if you really want to build a channel, you can commit to it for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Like this isn't just like a 3-week tests. I think you could do tests and experiments, but it's like this stuff takes time. And if you study successful YouTube creators and business owners and influencers that have started channels, this stuff takes time. So how deep can you go on a topic and how long will it keep you fascinated? It's not like you have to commit to it for life, but I think if you just do it like your passion is constantly changing. So what are you curious about? What do you research? Like, what do you love researching and going deeper on? Can you see yourself still passionate and wanting to learn more about this topic in 3 years? How about in 5 years? James Clear said, knowledge is the compound interest of curiosity. And the reason this is so important is because if you're not curious and fascinated by your topic, you're going to lose to somebody that is, because their natural curiosity and passion and love for that topic is going to help them accelerate while you are getting bored. So passion is critical. And check this out. Do you want to be associated with this niche in 3 to 5 years? Here's another question under passion. What do you want to be known for? So it's like, yeah, I would love to be known for that. I mean, because it's like, it's even connected to my identity to a point. And I know our identity isn't, just like our vocation or like our YouTube channel, but like, I don't mind being known for that because like, that's really me. Like maybe you really love music. You really love fashion. You really love theology. You really love business. You really love marketing. Like I just love, and one other test I love is if you ever walk into a bookstore, which is there's like a revival right now. Barnes & Noble was closing stores. Now they're opening stores, and TikTok and Book Talk is like making this whole wave. Like, what section do you go to? Even if you like to explore different divergent sections, for me, I find myself gravitating towards marketing and business. I also like kind of going through the art section, big books, like cool art books, fashion, a little bit of design and branding, but I'm going to lean on business more than anything, maybe self-help, but business is my book section. And so then you think about, okay, by the way, you have that, you already have a good advantage on YouTube. Because if you want to read about it, or maybe reading isn't your thing, but you want to learn about it, you listen to podcasts about it, passion, number one. Okay, so here's the practical workshop action item. What are your 5 to 10 passions? Make a list now. I want you, like, you could even, bullet point them. So it's like, for me, I might write down, okay, video production. I got a background in that. Video production, YouTube and social media, music, theology, the Bible, like some other things. Okay. But then what we're going to do is start to filter passions off the list, which might be hard because they're like all probably sincere for you, right? Everything I just listed, I was like, yeah, that's like legit. All of my, like, I'm multi-passionate. Maybe you can relate. Sometimes it's kind of overwhelming. If you're truly watching this training, I imagine you are multi-passionate. It's hard for you. Like, I don't want to be in a box. I'm a creative. I get it. I want to express myself in a lot of different ways, but we need to filter down. And the second one's proficiency. So your YouTube success is found at the intersection of the thing you're authentically passionate about, but also what you are proficient at. What does that mean? What are you skilled or experienced at? What do you have the most skill in? How many months or years of experience do you have in that area? What are you good at? This is a good question. What do you have results in? So your passion, you might be like, it truly is motherhood. And not just that I am a mom and I have kids, but like, I'm like obsessed with it. Like I want to read books about it and I listen to podcasts about it. And I talk to my friends about motherhood and I talk about, different theories, understanding our kids' personalities and understanding healthy food for them and understanding. So, and then you're like, and I've got a few kids and I've been doing this for 5 years or 7 years or 10 years. Well, you don't have gone to school for motherhood, but you've got experience at it. And because your passion has fueled your curiosity and your research, there's some actual proficiency there. Now, sometimes we might get stuck here because we might be like, but Sean, like, I don't have a degree in this. Like, I haven't been doing it for that long. Here's something you could write down. What do you have a 10% edge in? 10%. Because I believe you could have success on YouTube if you're 10% ahead of the person that you want to help. Like the person that subscribes to the channel, like if you've been a mom for 2 years and a new mom has just popped on, and they are just getting started, like, what have you learned in the last 2 years? You're just like 10% ahead. If you've been a real estate agent for 1 year, you made a whole lot of mistakes in your first year, and you're not pretending like you're a seasoned veteran with 3 decades of experience. You're just like, you're sort of from a vulnerable, self-aware, but also authoritative, like join me on the journey. Just avoid all the mistakes I made in my first year. See that? So it's like, if you have a 10% edge, you're just a few steps ahead of your audience, you can help. And so your experience should be deep enough to provide genuine value and insights. One of the most powerful frameworks, and this is a tactical YouTube video you could write down, is this is working on all the social platforms, including YouTube. But instead of like preaching at people and saying like how to be a good mom, change it to how I. When you use the title, how I grew my YouTube channel 2,000 subscribers last month. That might be a title that I write. How I made $40,000 from one video. You might notice one of the reasons I'm here doing what I'm doing is I'm teaching out of real experience, not just theory. And I didn't start teaching YouTube just as like a YouTuber teaching YouTube and had success teaching YouTube. And a lot of people do that. But I had a passion to go prove understanding YouTube and other niches. That's why I've made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in the health niche off of other non-YouTube education, non-social media education niches. I've helped other authors, speakers, business owners grow their YouTube channels, cutting up content for them and being a YouTube strategist. I've had a passion to have deep experience in these other areas. And so I can teach how I helped this business owner grow and get leads, how I generated $20,000 from one video in the health niche, so just something to think about. And again, you might be like, well, I haven't got a lot of results under my belt yet. Well, that's one thing to aim for. You can start today with where you are, even documenting your experience and your progress. But I think one of the keys to ongoing success to YouTube is just your ongoing personal growth, continuing to do more experiments. And by the way, how I failed, how I made a mistake, because actually teaching is super powerful. Teaching out of vulnerability, failure, and mistakes can actually be just as insightful. How I tried to, succeed and I failed and I learned some lessons. And let me share you that story with you. People love that stuff. So these are the first 2 P's. And here's your next action item. If I wrote down 5 to 10 passions, which I hope you did, I then want you to cross out or eliminate down to which ones do you have the most experience or are you the best at? Do you have some actual milestones you've achieved at that? Maybe you've done the career for a while. And sometimes here's what will happen. The thing that like you want your YouTube channel to be about might not actually be the thing that you have the most authority or strength to make your channel about. And that brings you to a fork in the road. Are you going to pick the YouTube channel topic that's going to be the most successful, or are you going to pick the channel topic that you're just most passionate about, but it may not actually succeed? I'm actually not saying whether that's right or wrong, because your definition of success is actually could be kind of subjective. Like, don't let external definitions of success. I think like how you define success matters. Is it about going full-time, a subscriber amount, or is it about self-expression? It's more of a hobby. But for anything, it's like just self-awareness. But a mistake I see people make is like they do the thing they want to do as opposed to the practical thing. And by the way, it's still on the passion list. It just might not be your number one passion. Maybe your number 6 passion is the thing like, it doesn't get me super pumped, but like, yeah, like I'm pretty good at that. I have a lot of experience at that. Well, you want to play to your strengths. You want to stack. Remember, this whole thing's about David and Goliath. How are you going to get an unfair advantage? David found a slingshot, used his slingshot, which he had experience using in the wilderness, and he had defeated the lion and he defeated the bear. So he was actually ready to defeat Goliath based on his past experience. And so thinking about your proficiency, what you're experienced at, is a very powerful part of this framework. But here's number 3. And then we're going to go through the 3 pitfalls that creators fall into in just a second. But number 3 is profit. And this is probably where 99% of creators like kind of fall off the cliff and miss it. Because you need all 3 P's. Profit. Where's the market? Is there market demand and monetization potential? This is where you got to put on the business owner hat and say, okay, what's the TAM? Write that down. TAM is a acronym. It's a business term. It stands for the total addressable market. And if you're in a circle with business owners and with business strategists, they're going to say like, they'll just talk about it like off the cuff. They'll be like, yeah, the TAM is very established. It's a growing TAM. It's a growing like it's a growing market. There's momentum in the market. The question under profit is such things as, what problem do you solve? Now, again, you might be watching this. You're like, well, I'm just a musician and I want my music to get heard. Great. There's a certain model for that. But entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. So thinking about like, basically, this is how much money potential is there for your channel and for your niche. So you want to answer questions like, what problem do you solve that people have? How much do they want to solve that problem? Like what level of pain is that problem for people? The more, the better, by the way. Like if this is like if people really want to solve that problem. That's why they talk about like some of the best niches for building an online business is health, wealth, and relationships. People want to get healthy. They want to, anti-aging, skincare, supplements, get muscle, lose weight, get the beach body, health. Also medical treatments, biohacking, dealing with chronic illness, overcoming chronic illness, health, wealth. Make money, save money, investing, stocks, crypto, how to make money on the side hustle, side passions, money. Like money is something we all deal with, right? We all use money, need money, pay our bills with money. So health, wealth, and relationships with ourselves, development, self-mastery, mindset stuff, dating. How do I get a date? How do I get married? Divorce. How do I recover from divorce? Personality issues, dealing with different personality types, relationships, building a team, business, of course, in the center of that. Now, listen, those are not the only niches. You're like, well, I don't know where mine fits, but there's 2 things you need to know when it comes to like those macro niches. One, if you pick one of those, you're in a TAM or you're in a proven market that's going to give you more profit potential because these things are proven. 2, this is a very powerful YouTube principle. You should connect whatever you do to those 3 areas. This is called benefit extension. So it's like if you could help people do their hobby, but save money, like how to save money at RC car racing, because people always want to save money. Like if you tie it into your topic plus money or your topic plus relationships or your topic plus health, stress reduction, it ties into these like core human needs. So anyways, now you want to say, okay, I've written down 5 to 10 passions. I've narrowed that down to 3 to 4 proficiencies. What's my strongest profit potential? But you also want to brainstorm at this point, what could or would people buy from you? Write this stuff down. What in this niche, what could I sell? Kind of a weird question that, some of us with like money mindset issues struggle with, but it's like, no, like if you're, because advertisers also will advertise on your videos. Like what, If you want to get brand deals and sponsorships, even if you don't sell something, they're going to sell something. Like the brand won't pay you unless it's connected to them selling something. So what would that audience want to buy? And we need to reframe our mindset around selling. Ethical selling is to serve other people and to solve their problems. Because when you plant your flag in a particular niche, like I happily part with almost all of my money when it comes to like health and wellness. Like I buy lion's mane tinctures and powders and AG1, this more and electrolytes and all and then like red light therapy panels. I mean, these cost $6,000. Like this, and I happily paid for these panels over here. These are red light therapy panels. Link in the description down below. Just kidding. Actually, I probably should have linked to them. So if you were in like people, I want to feel vibrant. And as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of stress, and I look for stress reduction ways to take care of my health and my energy. So in your niche, what could and would people buy from you? And by the way, if you're feeling confused and overwhelmed, good. Because 99% of creators don't do this work. And that's why they stay stuck. Your 2025, this is about to be your best year ever. If you're more strategic, if you get intentional about the skills you're going to need, and if you do a little bit of deeper work in your channel strategy and positioning, which is exactly what this is. And so profit, what business do you want to be in? Knowing this at the foundation of your channel, and let me know in the comments if you're watching this live or the replay, is this kind of like already messing your strategy up a little bit? Type yes. Like if you're like, oh yeah, I could be more strategic. I don't know. I could think more about the business I'm in. This is why a lot of people struggle financially is they don't reverse engineer their channel from a business mindset to actually think about how I'm going to go full time, which is, by the way, you don't want to miss Friday's session. Because again, we're going to talk a lot of monetization. I love Carter's Eats here. My strategy is all effed up. You know what it is? Like it's my whole, it's my whole strategy, my whole thinking. I love seeing, this helps me think more strategically on the channel. That's what this challenge is all about. But let's go a little bit deeper, because here at the center of this, well, let's talk about now the 3 pitfalls. If you only have passion and proficiency, because now that you've got the 3 Ps, and I hope you write down like 10 passions, narrow it down to 5 proficiencies, narrow it down to maybe 2 profits, and you're still wondering, all right, that one's got the best business opportunity. I am passionate about it. I do have the most experience in that. I'm still trying to decide between 2. All right, we'll continue to go along here. But here's the pitfalls. If all you have is passion and proficiency, but there isn't a clear business model, a clear way, and of course you can always like, oh yeah, but if I get monetized and I get views on my videos. But here's what a lot of our students have realized. A lot of our students never get enough views to make a full-time living from YouTube AdSense. But they've built 6-figure, and in some cases, 7-figure incomes. And in other words, 7-figure means $1 million incomes. Not because of YouTube AdSense, but because they think about how their YouTube channel could be a business, and they think about what is it they could sell, or what brands or partnerships would tie into their content, or what are the different monetization opportunities. So if you skip the profit P and you've got the passion and you've got the proficiency, you might find yourself stuck in a hobby. And let me encourage you, that's not a bad thing. You just need to know that if it's like, I love what I'm doing and I'm making some money from it, but it's not my full-time thing, you need the profit P to be dialed if it's going to be a full-time thing. Or maybe you have visions for it to be way more than full-time. I want to build a movement. I want to do kind of what you're doing at Think Media. I could see having a team someday. I want to scale my business. Well, then you can't just have the 2 Ps, passion and proficiency. You need all 3. Now, if you just have profit and proficiency, but the passion isn't really there, and this is a real thing. Like, you're like, well, I'm actually good at making money. Like, it's just, I have this skill and I have this experience, and it could be very lucrative, but the passion is not there. Then the trap is boredom. And maybe you could do it for a while, and that's a self-awareness question. Maybe you could do the channel for a while, but remember, can you do it for the next 3 to 5 years? Maybe practically you make some money at it, but think about it. The person who's got the passion is going to outlast you because they're still curious. They're still pumped. They still would walk into that Barnes and Noble, go to that section and be excited to read another book on the topic. Like if it was pulling teeth to get you to read one book on the topic, like I will read marketing books endlessly. I will read branding books endlessly. I'll read storytelling books endlessly. And I just find, but then there's other books I can barely, it's like pulling teeth to get me to read one. So my passion for content, social media, marketing, YouTube is an advantage. So the boredom is a real thing. So you might be like, and this, what are we pushing for? Fierce clarity about the one topic or that angle of your channel that's going to give you that unfair advantage. And then if you've got the passion, you're like, I love it. I'm endlessly curious about it. And it's a great niche. I can make a ton of money doing it, but you don't have the experience or the results or the proficiency in it. And it also could be like, you know, one of my original passions, I love music. And for many seasons in my life, I kind of had hoped to like be a musician. This is kind of true if I'm a little bit vulnerable. I DJ'd in high school. In fact, my license plate said DJ Blaze on that teal and yellow car because Method Man was my hero. And I will admit, even though I was at a Christian high school that I got expelled from, I was puffing on the peace pipe a little bit. And that was part of what happened there because, you know, Method Man, when Wu-Tang raises you. So what happened? DJ Blaze. I was DJing vinyl, like, and which is cool. It's kind of my background in music, but I like wasn't great at it. And then, you know, Jesus changed my life. I set down the peace pipe, picked up the Bible, and I also picked up a guitar, an acoustic guitar. And I was like, dude, you know, I want to be like a cool worship leader guy, you know, like maybe get like a tattoo under here and like wear a shirt, be like, come on, church, and like show your tattoo off. I have no tattoos, but and like maybe if I would have stuck with these things, but here's like the point. It's one thing to like have a passion to like be a cool musician, like back when like Joel Houston Hillsong, and like it's one thing to have a passion for it. And by the way, like you can make profit at it. You can make a living being a DJ or make a living being a singer or a musician. But what's the light bulb moment for Sean, myself? The proficiency wasn't there. It's like, bro, you need to pick a different career. Like you need to go on a different path, bro. You need all three. So failure, I would, to this day, I don't know if I can't just quite get my pitch right. I do still want to take like vocal lessons, but it's self-awareness. Like this YouTube thing, I'm pretty good at it. You know, this marketing thing, I keep going deeper at it. What's the point of these stories? That you have fierce clarity about what is the intersection of your passion, profit, and proficiency. And I'd love for you to tell me in the chat, like, what have you had an aha moment that you need to pivot your niche? Have you had an aha moment? Is what's at the center? Because at the center of this is your perfect channel topic. At the center of this, I would even argue it's kind of connected to a level of your unique difference, even kind of your purpose. It's really finding, like, man, I'm in that sweet spot. And so any aha moments of that, maybe I need to pivot my niche, or this is the niche I should be in. Cody says, my passion is making outdoor adventure content. I see your avatar there, Cody. That makes sense. It's also, that is a good profitable niche. Proficiency, it sounds like you got experience doing it. You're passionate about it. You can see yourself being passionate about it for the next 3 to 5 years. Boom. If anything, too, this session, I hope, gives you fresh fire around your passion to triple down in the joy and excitement and vibrancy with which you're going to show up in your YouTube content. I like Jason's clarity here. I'm all over the place. So sometimes this could be a journey, and don't feel bad if you don't have clarity instantaneously. I've found that sometimes clarity is, at least in my journey, is not just taking me months, but it's taking me years. And you cannot steer a parked car. So earlier I shared with you all the different videos I was posting. I don't feel like that was wasted time on YouTube. I think that a training like this can help you go faster and go further faster. But sometimes it takes experimentation. It takes testing. It takes starting. And then it takes pivoting along the way as you continue to use this framework to develop greater clarity along the journey. I love seeing all the stuff you're sharing. And I love the transparency that I think a lot of us can relate to. Again, I'm like a chicken without a head, and it's okay. Like a lot of different, maybe still lacking clarity, where others, here we go, the matrix, my passion niche is space science and biblical evidences. Love it. And I love hearing all the different things. I have a passion, just working hard to show proficiency and turn it into profit. Awesome. Sylvia, thank you so much for sharing that. Well, we got 3 more tips though. So the 3P framework already is incredibly powerful to help you stand out. But I believe in a 2025 world, there's actually more than ever, this next tip is crucial because there's been the whole landscape has actually changed. And that's not an overstatement. With the invention of AI and with large language models and AI content and AI video generators, there's just an interesting debate going on about what does that mean for content creators going forward. And the second tip is crucial in light of some of the changes. And here's what it is. Tip number 2, the secret weapon isn't being better, it's being different. AKA being yourself. You know, it's interesting when we started with the David and Goliath analogy was David did not go against Goliath trying to be stronger than him. He wasn't. Trying to be bigger than him. He wasn't. Trying to even use the same weapons as him. He couldn't even carry those, you know, be too heavy. Goliath's spear weighed however 30 pounds or something. So David's approach to Goliath was just being entirely different, using a slingshot and stones. The secret weapon isn't being better than the competition. It's being different and finding your unique differences. And we're going to explain what that is in just a second, but I want to tell you a quick story. I want you to meet Yvonne. So this is someone who's been implementing these tips in real life. Dr. Yvonne is a PhD toxicologist and a mom of 2 who teaches people how to reduce their toxic load with evidence-based strategies. And she joined our Video Ranking Academy program in 2020, but actually kind of stopped posting, like took like 3 years off. But her channel demonstrates the 3P framework. Her passion is helping people live healthier lives by avoiding toxic products, and her proficiency comes from her scientific background in toxicology. And the profit potential is clear. People are deeply concerned about harmful chemicals in their everyday products. And so what makes her content stand out isn't that she's just knowledgeable, but that she's different. Instead of general wellness advice that thousands of creators share, she brings scientific expertise to evaluate specific products that we use daily. And she reveals the hidden dangers with credible evidence and makes complex information approachable and actionable. So she actually posted this in our private group of our Video Ranking Academy community. And she stated that her channel, she started her channel in 2020, but stopped posting for almost 3 years. But by implementing what she learned, she had her first breakthrough, and she went from 5,000 subscribers to 15,000 subscribers in just 1 week. So in 1 week, she grew 10,000 subscribers. That is the power of using a slingshot and the right stone, right? Finding like all the way down to your specific genius to a specific video. And so that was her first breakthrough, but this gets crazy. The story gets way crazier. So she's having some growth. She took some time off. And after she started, she gets back to it, implements some of the strategies she learns in our program. But then she posts this video: the worst cookware lurking in your kitchen to toss right now. And the video pops off and gets 1 million views. And this was about a year ago. Like, so people wonder too, oh, all the like the people, the success stories on YouTube were like, you know, yeah, if you started in 2015, you could have grown. Or if you started in 2019, you could have grown. Or if you started during the pandemic, you could have, like, no. The proverb, when is the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Today. When's the best time to start a YouTube channel? 10 years ago. But when's the second best time to start a YouTube channel? Today. And so within the last 12 months, people are still starting channels. They're still blowing up. They're still having breakout videos. And so this one video hits 1 million views. Her channel today just crossed 100,000 subscribers, silver play button stuff, which reveals, by the way, that you're one video away. It could be multiple breakthroughs. Sometimes we've learned that there are like arcs in the creator journey. Sometimes you get a video that pops off and you grow 1,000 subscribers, or you grow 10,000 subscribers in 1 week. Sometimes you post a video, it hits 1 million, and you get thousands, like tens of thousands of subscribers from one video. Here's the key. The key is staying consistent, keeping your content at the 3P intersection, kind of staying on brand, staying focused, getting clear on your channel strategy, and leaning into what makes you different. And breakthroughs don't just happen once, they keep coming as long as you keep showing up and delivering value in your unique way. But here's the big point of number 2. Here's how you stand out: personality. Personality is the cornerstone of building a standout brand on YouTube. And here's why. Because in a 2025 world with AI, information is going to become more and more and more common. But what's going to make your channel unique compared to just being able to go get information? Your stories, your trauma, your pain, your vulnerability, your breakthroughs. We crave real human connection in this Black Mirror world where AI is kind of getting a little bit weird. And it's cool that we have access to all this information, but it's the human connection, being a person and weaving in stories from your life that illustrate the points, your own tests and experiments. Like, of course, I could just ask ChatGPT for some dry information, but the content creators of the future are going to be the ones that understand the 3P framework, but also lean into personality. It's the cornerstone of building a standout brand. So let's just dive a little bit into this as we land the plane on today's workshop. We're going to refine your brand even more with some questions. So this is your personality, your perspective, your point of view. People are still looking for voices, creators, people with perspectives on life, on politics, on religion, on gossip, on pop culture, on the stuff that's happening, on your perspective. Think about it again, because just reading off a ChatGPT checklist, well, anybody can do that, but not anybody has your background and your upbringing and the highs and the lows of your life and the scars that you have that made you who you are today. So about you, what are 3 words that best describe your personality? What are 3 words that best describe your personality? What's a quirky and unexpected interest you might have that surprises people? Like, the reason you're filling out these questions is because weaving these things into your YouTube channel is the thing that makes you stand out in the sea of sameness. It's why they call it a personal brand. It's your personality, perspective, and point of view that makes up your brand. What are 3 words that best describe your personality? What's a quirky, unexpected interest that might surprise people? And you can drop that in the chat. Goofy, laid back, and unique. Come on, Tina. Loud, deep, and funny. I like these. I'm a total geek. So am I. Where'd that one go? Dorininda. Did I get that right? I'm also very outgoing and positive, a bit comical. Now, what's cool about writing these down is before you press record, or when you press record in the future, sometimes like we turn the camera on and we like lose ourselves because we're just trying to like get through the information. And I don't blame you. It is kind of hard to deliver and communicate on camera. It's a skill to learn. But this is the stuff that'll make you you, right? What life experience have shaped your perspective and how you see the world? Now, the next category. So there's about you. What are some things about you that go into your brand? How about your values and beliefs? What are you truly passionate about, and why does it matter to you? What are you truly passionate about? What are some strong opinions or beliefs you hold that others might challenge or debate? Now, if you really want to get into an interesting space, there's all this data that reveals that online right now, people follow channels, creators, and even businesses and brands that they spend money with. They follow people with shared values and beliefs. So while you might have been afraid to share your values and beliefs, and that doesn't mean you have to like preach, like, you know, because you probably by now you've like figured out that I'm a Christian, that like I love Jesus, and that like I'm talking about the Bible, but I'm not. Hopefully, I mean, maybe some people are like, Sean, you preach too much, but like we're talking about YouTube stuff. Like it's in there, but I understand the purpose of my channel is to help you get views, subscribers, make, you know what I mean? But the point is, like, your values come through in your content. It's not that you have to like preach and get all political if that's not what your channel is about. But in today's world, if you want to make a connection and grow a brand, you should think about some of this stuff. What do you stand for? What are some of your strong opinions and beliefs that you hold that others might challenge or debate? What causes or issues do you deeply care about? And how could you use your voice to make a difference? One of the issues I care about is I'm in like this weird tension between, I love social media, but I also know that social media and social media influencers, it's kind of there's pros and cons to it. And as a father of 2 boys, 2 and 4, one of my passions, the reason we want to help purpose-driven content creators do good through creating content, is I think that a lot of the influencers online are not good leaders. They're not individuals that I want my sons to follow. But kind of like I believe Martin Luther King Jr. said, you know, we're not here to curse the darkness, but we're here to light a light. My hope is to inspire whoever we can inspire at Think Media to do good in the world and to stand for truth and values and family values, and to be a net positive, not a net negative with some of what happens on social media, because it can disintegrate pretty fast. So there's things I care about. I also, there's some people even of my faith persuasion that's like, oh, social media. And I'm like, no, man, social media is amazing. It's this communication tool. It's this chance to reach the world. YouTube is incredible. So in a way, I am certainly a YouTube evangelist, right? Like YouTube is a powerful platform to do good in the world. And why are we so worried about the bad there? Why don't we actually create more good, shine more light, spread more love, advance the truth? I get fired up. What do you get excited about? What are causes or issues you deeply care about? And how could you use your voice to make a difference? Last one, your tastes and influences. Write this down. What are your favorite books, movies, music, and what do you love about them? My friend Pat Flynn has got a bunch of like Back to the Future stuff in the background of his studio. I got this hammer. On this hammer, it says, I believe Matthew 6:33, anyone who hears these words of mine is like a wise builder who built his house on the rock. And he compares that to the foolish builder who built his house on the sand. It actually was an annual theme for our company. And the theme that year was built to last. And so I got my little hammer up there. I got my little, whatever, like just small things. You're like, I had no clue what that was, like with the depth of field. But just little things that come out in your, what are your favorite books, movies, music? What do you love about them? Who are your role models or inspirations? Making a list of your role models and inspirations and getting clear about them, and then check out this homework assignment. Spend some time doing intentional journaling and studying around some of your favorite brands, channels, role models, inspirations, and identifying the qualities maybe of their values and their communication style, but even all the way down to like, how do they create content? What's their cadence? What are the ways they structure their videos? You're not there to copy them, but you're there to draw inspiration. What are we doing in this session? We're creating your standout brand. The future is bright for smart content creators that do the work we're doing together here. And if you're still watching this video, it already tells me that you have a serious attention span because you didn't click off just looking for the next dopamine hit, but you're willing to do the deep work that it requires to build a real brand and have real success on YouTube in 2025 and beyond. What are some things you strongly dislike and why do they bother you? Your tastes and influences, your role models, your favorite books, movies, and music. Those are the types of things, right, that kind of make up who we are. And as we weave those into our content, I think, can we all agree? Type yes if you agree that your brand could be spiced up a bit. Not forcing fake things, but actually bringing forth who you really are. A lot of times, like your vibe, the cool things that make up your personality, they're not really being woven into your content. And when they are, people start to connect with you and resonate with these different points. That's how you build a fan base. That's how you build subscribers. That's how you build a movement. That's how you build momentum. That's also how you polarize people away from you, which is a good thing. As you start to articulate some of this stuff, some people will be like, not the channel for me. Good, because you're not for everybody, but your vibe will attract your tribe. You're 1,000 true fans. And so I'm glad you're getting some value. As we land the plane, one other last point though, and wherever you're watching this, smash the like button if you've been getting value at 47 minutes into this training as we now taxi to the terminal to exit the plane on tip number 3. Don't aim for perfect, launch with good enough, and refine your brand as you go. Here's where we are now though. You might be like, okay, this has been a cool session, but my head is spinning. Like, I don't even know who I am. Like, what are even my tastes and my influences? I'm multi-passionate. I don't know what to make my channel about. I'm frustrated because now I think my current channel, is it wrong? Do I change? Sean, you didn't help me. You just messed me up. Okay, relax. I get it. These explorations into our brand and into our business and our strategy sometimes feel there's chaos before clarity. But here's what I want to encourage you with. Don't aim for perfect, launch with good enough, and refine as you grow. Okay? So, like, in a way, there's this good book from Malcolm Gladwell. It's called Blink. I never read it, but I understood the concept. It's like true about like every book. And it was this idea, he like makes a whole book to talk the point that says that usually our initial gut reaction is the right reaction. Like usually our quick intuition is the right reaction. Like just the thing that we feel fast and first, and of course it's not always right, but so it's like launch with good enough. Like if you do the 3P exercise, you can eventually take it too far where you're just overthinking. You're like, man, do I just like, okay, eventually just decide to press record. Eventually, good enough. All right, this is the one I'm picking. I'm starting today. Like when I look back at my journey and I open this session thinking about sharing with you all of the random videos I posted, it was all progress for me because I was moving, learning, growing, and the key is I just kept refining. I kept dialing things in. So for some of you, you're like, it just makes it's clear for me. I'm dead on top. My channel topic is perfect. I feel dialed. I feel aligned. I'm ready to go. Awesome. Some of you are like, I'm just not fully clear. Get enough clarity and launch. Good enough. And then you can refine as you grow. And I think even the most advanced of us should always be thinking about how we're reinventing or pivoting and growing because that keeps us fresh. And so, when I think back to 2003, the breakthrough came when I realized my true intersection point. While I had many interests, including this with some of the other interns in the youth group, including, wishing I was a guitar player and singer at the moment, like Elliot on the Think Media team, jealous of his skills. My real expertise lay in video production, specifically the work I'd done for my local church. So I started doing video in 2003. And not only was I passionate about it, but I had years of experience and deep knowledge to share by 2010 when I started to post some videos. And I didn't aim for perfect, but I launched with good enough and I made a ton of mistakes. But I kept learning and improving my content and clarifying the focus of my brand and my channel. And the way I was able to do this full time is I took my passion for video and the proficiency I had developed, and I started to earn money. And specifically, I learned how to rank videos and make money through affiliate marketing. And we'll be talking more about that on session number 3 and going really deep on session number 5 on Friday this week during the challenge. But once I aligned my content with these 3 elements, my channel gained a clear identity, Think Media. My content planning became easier. Audience growth became more consistent. And monetization opportunities emerged naturally. So on the other side of getting fierce clarity of your passion, proficiency, and profit, doing the hard work and really thinking about some of these things actually does come more ease. Like, oh, what video to make next becomes a little bit easier. Even money starts to flow more naturally. And so I'll encourage you, launch with good enough, but just keep refining as you grow. Because at the intersection of passion, proficiency, and profit is where your YouTube success story begins and where you can take your YouTube success to new heights. Now, if you are watching this on the Think Media Podcast channel, it's the last session. We decided to stream today, the second session as well, to hit our second channel. But the next 3 sessions are only happening inside of the Circle group, which, let me be clear, Think Media Podcast channel. You're on YouTube. You saw this live stream. You're watching me right now. Hit the link in the description or type in Tube 1K Challenge URL in a browser and enter your name and email, and we'll email you access to our private Circle group, because the next 3 sessions like this are only happening privately. It's still free, but they're happening privately in what's called our 1K challenge. And so you won't get access to the next 3 sessions if you do not register. So go to tube1kchallenge.com to register for that. But let's recap what we learned today. Use the 3P framework to find your perfect content formula. Let your authentic personality shine. It's your superpower, and the way you're going to stand out in an AI world where information is more common and where we are craving real human connection. And then focus on being uniquely you, not just better than others. But in light of all of this, start creating now and polish as you grow. And then keep committing to learning. You know, Yvonne said that implementing what she learned, she said, implement what you learned at VRA and don't be sorry. So I want you to get ready for session number 3, because tomorrow I'm teaching the full 7R VRA framework for free tomorrow on session number 3. And remember, Yvonne, who's over 100,000 subscribers right now, she said, recently I had a video reach 100,000 views in 1 week, implementing what she learned in tomorrow's session. So save the date, set it on your calendar. You're going to learn my complete 7-step system for turning these principles into real results. And you're going to get the exact blueprint that has helped me scale multiple channels, but it's also helped our students generate over 23 billion views. So that's happening tomorrow on session number 3 of our YouTube 1K challenge.